Hi, my name's Alyssa. Um, I decided I wanted to try some YouTube videos, maybe to kind of just um, talk about what I've been through and things that still continue to happen, whether it's with my health or really just anything, um, maybe to help people that want to watch or talk to people that have similar issues, but mainly so I can just kind of vent, essentially, um, without telling my boyfriend or my mom or whoever else over and over again, because I'm sure they get tired of hearing it. Um, so I'll do a little bit about me. Um, I'm 21. I just turned 21 actually in August. Um, I couldn't be more excited for that. Vegas was a great trip, and I came home and immediately started my medical assisting program. I have been graduated from high school for 3 years now. Three. I graduated in 2012, and I kind of switched from college to college, trying to figure out really. I knew I wanted to be in the medical field, but I didn't know which college was going to do that for me. This in 2015 in April, I started at Healed. Oh boy, Healed closed in the middle of everything. I was so close to being done. Tons of loans, like the whole thing, but I'm not going to get into that too much. It still frustrates me quite a bit. So anyway, my boyfriend told me about the medical assisting program at City College, and I decided why not try that. So I started in August, and I'll be finished here in a couple of months. Um, I've been with my boyfriend TJ for almost 2 years. I mean, I go to school over full time. I work full time. Um, yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Um, I have tons of medical problems, and the most like the biggest one for me is my heart. Um, when I was 17 years old, 2 weeks after I graduated high school, I received a pacemaker. A pacemaker is inserted underneath the skin into a muscle. Mine's actually right in here. There are leads that go through the vein underneath your collarbone that go straight into my heart. The leads, I have a 2-lead pacemaker from Biotronic. Both the leads are attached to the inside of my heart, and they're not coming out. Essentially, the reason I am still alive and am 21 and I can be making this video is because of a little piece of metal. It's about this big, not very thick, maybe about like this, and it literally keeps me alive on a daily basis. I had to have a tilt table test done, um, and when my doctor came back in and he had said, "You need a pacemaker, we'll schedule it for next week," I thought he was kidding. He's the type of doctor that, kind of just like jokes around with you, but he was serious. And it was really hard to even just accept and he looked me straight in the face and said, "I don't know how you're still alive." And I think that was the second that I realized that life really is beyond short, and it can end at any second. Sorry, it's still a little hard for me to kind of realize that still. So I went home with my mom that day. We told my family, and the look on their faces I will never forget, ever. And 2 weeks later, I was in the hospital, and I was having it put in. It has now been 3 years. June 27th, 2012 was the day that I received my pacemaker, and I am still here 3 years later. I'm doing really good, actually. I feel like what I think is the normal person feeling. Well, normal at least. And yeah, so I'm kind of just, trying to live, I guess. I still have my moments where my heart does do some crazy things. I guess I should explain why I needed a pacemaker. First of all, I have a condition called patent foramen valve, PFO for short. It is essentially a hole in between the two ventricles of my heart. Everyone is born with it, but it is supposed to close as you grow. Mine, however, did not. So what it's doing is mixing the oxygen and deoxygenated blood in my heart, which can cause some problems, but the hole is really not too big to technically be super concerned about, but enough to kind of just watch it like every year or so get an echo with a bubble study, and so that's not too big of a deal. But I always knew that there was something else wrong. Always. I would stand up and I'd pass out. I couldn't stand up for more than 30 seconds at a time. Like, the heat got to me, and so I kept going to new doctors all the time. Just, there's something wrong with me. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with me. And no one believed me because I was young. And I mean, this started when I was 11. And so no one believed me at all, and they kept telling me it was in my head, and I'm just making up things because I wanted attention. So finally, I was 17, senior in high school. I got home from school one afternoon, and I was standing in the kitchen, and the next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital with a neck brace on. I had fallen on the tile floor and given myself whiplash from it. And received extensive tests because of it. And that is when I got into my current cardiologist, Dr. Hanks. And he was the only one that believed me when I told him I didn't know what was wrong, but there was something wrong. The only one that listened to every symptom and everything that I even tried to explain. He sat there with me for hours that first appointment, listening to every single thing I had to say. And because of him, I'm here. Because he took the time to sit down and listen to me, I'm still alive. And I don't think he ever will realize just how grateful I am for that. So the standing up and passing out, or standing for more than 30 seconds and passing out, is called POTS syndrome, POTS. I don't know the full name for it. I try to know the name for the things I have, but that one I just can never remember. and that is a rare, very rare disease, actually. And they test it on astronauts, so they know how they'll react to gravity up in space. I actually know that because my dad was watching either a science or medical show. I don't know, one day before I even started seeing Dr. Hanks, and it came out and told me, hey, I think this is what you have. And sure enough, that's exactly what I have. They don't do tilt table tests on people very often, but when they do, it's obviously for a good reason. So